side quest episode of Talk This. It's dangerous to podcast alone. I'm one of your hosts, Madelyn Paquette, and I'm here today once again to introduce this little bonus quest where Emma and I will each talk about 5 topics for a minute each for a total of 10 minutes. We're super excited to talk to you today, so let's jump on in.
So one of the things that I got my little sister Aurora for her birthday this year was a new Pokemon game. And I say new in the sense that it's new for her, not that it's new. I didn't get her Sun or Moon. I gave her our old version of Diamond. And I previously let her have my old DS and Ruby Red, I think, which is for the GBA. And it's just sort of funny to watch her play Pokemon, just because, I feel like she's younger than I was when I first remember myself playing Pokemon. So it's sort of like a battle of, why are you doing that? Or you're walking in circles and being like, wow, you really got a good handle on this battling system at that 7 years old, But it's sort of weird to think how Pokemon has sort of managed to keep itself alive throughout all these generations, so that it was important to me when I was a kid, and now it's important to her.
So, if you're like me, you watched the Oscars last Sunday and you saw the legendary flub in which La La Land was announced as the winner of Best Picture, when in fact the cards had been switched up and the winner was actually Moonlight. And something that went through my head was this felt like a Telltale game gone wrong. It's like a Telltale's The Oscars. And so you're up there, you're playing as Warren Beatty for whatever reason, and you get the card. Well, I guess you're playing as Faye Dunaway, but you're up there and you get to click a response of whether you're going to announce the winner as La La Land, whether you're going to ask for help, whether you're going to say Moonlight, whether you're just going to go crazy and start singing the Moana song or Justin Timberlake. It just felt like you made the wrong choice. Like you clicked a button and you were like, oh, that was not what I meant to happen. So really, probably the players should just restarted and done the Oscars over from the beginning. Is that cheating? Maybe.
Our old game for next episode is Fire Emblem. And I've also been replaying the newest one because there's nothing else to do on my long metro rides to work. But something that the new Fire Emblems have done is this children's system, right? Where you match up the most appropriate parents to have the child. And there's the oh, these two are cute kind of way to have this cute baby. But there's also the way where you're like, what is the most ideal stat pairings possible to make the killer baby, the baby that will be the tank that you can just send in and massacre everyone on the field with. And it's sort of changed the way I look at babies. I feel like if I ever have one, or if Malin ever has one, I'm going to be looking at it being okay, what's the speed on this? What do I need to feed it to make it better? Do I need a spinny wing? Do I need a power up? What do I need? So I'm sort of alienated.
Speaking of the Oscars and Moonlight, I wonder when video games are going to get up to speed on depicting people who are LGBTQ. I know that the film industry is really only just getting to this point, and Moonlight represents such a huge step forward for intersectionality. But when are video games gonna catch up and be making these socially conscious games? Now, we share a Game for Change every week, but these tend to be pretty small indies that are very focused in the change that they're trying to affect in the world. I want to see video games that are trying to depict people that aren't the standard action hero or aren't the standard Mario. When are we going to see a black Mario or a gay Mario? I'd love to see some race-blind casting in our next Mario, or even a black Link. Wouldn't that be amazing if Breath of Wind let you play as an intersectional Link? I feel like we're ready for that.
So I have a minor in both game design and writing. And the classes I've taken at school, one of the most interesting things we've learned about is this phenomenon of character identification and how it if there's more of an impact in you based on how a character looks or is described. And one of the things that we learned is the less defined features that a character has, the more people are able to put themselves in that role. So if you've seen Thomas Was Alone, there's squares, but they're still characters. and like you're able to identify more with them. It's like the difference between feeling sympathy and empathy, right? Empathy is a little bit more intense, and so there's more potential for something to be affecting on the reader or player when they feel empathy rather than sympathy. Or at least that's the idea. It's sort of like a very interesting concept of like trying to find a character that's anagulum for all of us, or whatever. Sorry.
Folks, this is going to make me sound like an old lady, but I want to extol the simple joys of Tetris. There is no better game than Tetris. When you want to do work on your computer, or you know you should be doing work on your computer, but you do not want to, you can pull up Tetris, and for some reason, playing Tetris feels virtuous in some way. I play Tetris, I feel like I'm working on some kind of skill that it's like helping me develop, that I'm getting better, that I'm somehow being productive, when I'm in fact doing nothing of the kind. I'm just moving blocks around. It's just such a great game of like, oh, I'm going to play a quick game of Tetris, and you get so into it you can't focus on anything else. It's what I go to when I should start a paper, but I don't want to. I love that it's free online. It's always frustrating. I always fail very badly, but it's always there for me in my time of need. And yes, I am 90 years old.
So I don't know if you heard the news at the beginning of February, but the famous Club Penguin, the sort of social meetup site for whoever's on Club Penguin, is closing down at the end of March. I have a friend who used to be really into Club Penguin. Shout out to Little Marvin. And so I felt like I should mention it just to honor her spirit. But also Club Penguin is just a weird phenomenon. Like really it's just become like I see so many things of like how fast can you get banned on Club Penguin? Like it's now like a huge competition of how fast can you get banned. And also like they flipped the iceberg a while ago, whatever that means, and there was like a secret underneath, so clearly there are some hidden depths to Club Penguin, and I challenge you all to join and discover them before it's too late and it's lost forever to the chambers of history. There you go.
So in our last episode, our featured old game was the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney series. And I'd like to see, I know they're still making the game, so a modern Phoenix Wright isn't quite right, but I'd like to see a new Phoenix Wright for our contemporary age, where it's a woke Phoenix Wright, where he's in the real criminal justice system, having to battle systemic oppression and discrimination. I want Phoenix to be so woke. He's in there, like, exploring crime scenes, and he sees the way the cops have been mistreating these people, or the way people are treated differently, or how we deal with discrimination in people of color and women, but not women of color. I want Phoenix to lay down some dope, woke... Is woke over? I think woke is over, but whatever. I want to see this social justice warrior, Phoenix Wright. Trademark. I like that.
So I am a very active and involved gamer, as I'm sure Madelyn or anyone who's watched me play a video game could tell you. I talk to the screen a lot, not always consciously, and I also get really frustrated or just really into it during boss battles. Like, I just finished playing Tales of Berseria, and it's not a button masher, but it's got a lot more button mashing than shooters, and those ones are perfect to just kind of like stand up and really put your elbows into it when something's not going your way, right? Like you just keep pressing the circle button, but you don't press it with your finger, you press it with your whole arm, and it really like gets you more into the spirit of the moment, of like the climactic final boss. So that's what I ended up doing because I skipped out on my exercise, so I decided that standing up while playing a video game was an acceptable substitute. But, you know, I really got into it, so maybe it was, you know, that's a perfectly valid way, and it's better than sitting. It's better than sitting, at least.
So on the 27th, which was this week, it was actually the 21st birthday of the Pokemon series. And you know what that means. It's time for a Poke Party! I think that Pokemon should go out and get really wasted at some bars in celebration of their 21st. Instead, in Pokemon Go, they're having limited edition Pikachus that you can catch with party hats. Is anyone still playing Pokemon Go? Please tell me because I don't know who you are. But I just love the idea of Pikachu in his party hat going out to the Miami bars and going clubbing and just getting white girl wasted for her 21st. Because honestly, Pikachu deserves it. Pikachu and all their friends, Ash Ketchum, Misty, even Gary can come. It's going to be a really, really hoppin' party. I would go. Well, I probably wouldn't go, but I'd think about going. Pokeball Jello shots, anyone?
Hey, this is your other host, Emma. I hope you enjoyed this week's side quest. As you listen to this, we're probably recording a new episode because I am down in Miami visiting my sister for her very last play at college. So send good thoughts her way for her closing weekend and my way for surviving in Miami. I do not do well with the heat. But anyway, as always, like us on all of our social media profiles. Share us if you like us even a little bit, if we bring you a little bit of joy or thought or feeling or anything. Like, share us. It really helps us out. You have no idea. And, as always, we hope you have a great day.